Nneka stood at the entrance of her university dorm, her heart pounding with anticipation. She had just received the latest anonymous note, the one that had become a regular occurrence in her life over the past few months. The notes were always sweet, thoughtful, and encouraging. Written in neat, cursive handwriting, they would appear in her books, under her pillow, or sometimes slipped into her bag when she wasn't looking. At first, she had been unnerved by the mysteriousness of it all. Who could be watching her so closely? But over time, Nneka began to find comfort in the notes. Whoever was leaving them seemed to understand her in ways that few others did. The notes always seemed to arrive when she needed a boost or reassurance. Still, the mystery lingered, and Nneka couldn't shake the feeling of curiosity. Who was behind them? Could it be someone she knew? A classmate? A secret admirer? One afternoon, after finishing her final class for the day, Nneka found another note waiting for her in her dorm room. This time, the note was different. It wasn't just a compliment or a word of encouragement. It was an invitation. "Meet me at the garden near the library tomorrow at noon. I'd love to finally introduce myself." Nneka's heart raced as she read the words. Was she ready to meet the person behind the notes? She had grown so accustomed to the anonymity, to the comfort of not knowing. But the invitation was too intriguing to resist. The next day, she dressed carefully, her mind swirling with possibilities. She arrived at the garden a few minutes early and sat on a bench, waiting. Minutes passed and her anticipation grew. She scanned the garden, watching as people walked by, but no one seemed to be approaching her. Just as she was beginning to feel disappointed, a voice called out her name. She turned and saw Chike, one of her classmates, standing nearby with a shy smile on his face. "I didn't expect it to be you," Nneka said, her voice tinged with surprise. Chike chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck nervously. "I wasn't sure how to tell you. I've admired you for a long time, but I didn't know how to approach you. The notes were my way of getting closer to you, I guess." Nneka smiled, feeling a mix of emotions. She had always liked Chike. He was kind, intelligent, and thoughtful, but she had never imagined he was the one behind the notes. "I appreciate the notes," she said softly. "They really helped me through some tough times." Chike's face lit up with relief. "I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted to let you know how special you are." As they talked, Nneka realized that the connection she felt through the notes had translated into real life. Chike was genuine, and his feelings for her were sincere. Over the next few weeks, they began to spend more time together, their friendship deepening into something more. Nneka's life had always been focused on her academic ambitions. She had dreams of becoming a writer, of telling stories that would resonate with people and make a difference in the world. But as she grew closer to Chike, she found herself opening up in new ways. He encouraged her to pursue her dreams, offering support and encouragement whenever she needed it. Despite the blossoming romance, Nneka was mindful of her independence. She had always prided herself on being self-sufficient, on not relying too much on others for validation. She had seen too many people lose themselves in relationships, forgetting their own goals and desires in the process. Nneka was determined not to let that happen to her. As the months passed, Nneka and Chike continued to grow closer. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and understanding, and they shared many of the same values. But Nneka was careful not to lose herself in the relationship. She made time for her writing, for her friends, and for her studies. She wanted to maintain a balance between her personal life and her ambitions. One evening, as they sat together in the park, Chike took Nneka's hand and looked into her eyes. "I know you're focused on your dreams, and I don't want to get in the way of that," he said. "But I also want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what. I believe in you, Nneka." Nneka smiled, touched by his words. "Thank you, Chike. That means a lot to me. And I want you to know that I feel the same way. I care about you, but I also need to stay true to myself and my goals." Chike nodded, understanding. "I wouldn't expect anything less." As their relationship continued to evolve, Nneka found herself reflecting on the lessons she had learned over the past few months. She had always been driven by her academic ambitions, but she had come to realize that love and relationships didn't have to detract from those goals. In fact, having someone who supported and believed in her only made her more determined to succeed. But Nneka also knew that her sense of self-worth couldn't come from her relationship with Chike. She had to continue building her own identity, independent of anyone else. She had learned that true love wasn't about losing yourself in another person. It was about finding someone who encouraged you to be the best version of yourself. As Nneka entered her final year of university, she reflected on how far she had come. The anonymous notes that had once captivated her attention now seemed like a distant memory, a reminder of her journey of self-discovery. She had grown in so many ways, and her future was filled with endless possibilities. Graduation day arrived, and Nneka felt a deep sense of pride and accomplishment. She had worked hard to achieve her goals, and she was ready to take on the world. As she walked across the stage to receive her diploma, she thought about all the lessons she had learned, about love, identity, and resilience. After the ceremony, Nneka and her friends celebrated, reminiscing about their time at university and discussing their plans for the future. Nneka felt a sense of excitement and anticipation for what lay ahead. She knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but she was ready to face the challenges with confidence and determination. As Nneka transitioned into the next phase of her life, she carried with her the values that had guided her through university. She continued to pursue her writing, using her stories to inspire others and reflect on her own experiences. Her writing had become a source of empowerment, allowing her to connect with others in meaningful ways. Nneka's career began to take off, and she found herself taking on leadership roles within her field. Her hard work and dedication had paid off, and she was recognized for her contributions. But despite her success, Nneka remained grounded, always mindful of the importance of staying true to herself. Her relationship with Chike also continued to flourish. They supported each other in their respective careers, but Nneka never lost sight of her own ambitions. She understood that her relationship with Chike was a source of love and support, but her sense of self-worth came from within. As Nneka looked back on her journey, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences that had shaped her. She had learned the importance of self-love, authenticity, and resilience, and these lessons had guided her through every challenge she faced. With her academic ambitions intact and her sense of self strengthened, Nneka was prepared to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was filled with endless possibilities, and she was ready to embrace them with confidence and purpose.